Okay, so we're going to look at question number 6 now. We're going to see how do we figure out the weight of this crate. So what we would want to do first of all is use the information that we are given to make the observation that we have a triangle, and therefore the 3 angles of the triangle add up to 180. And because we have 72 degrees here, that would mean that this angle right here in between the 2 forces is 108 degrees. Once we know that, what we want to do is consider that we actually have a situation where we have 2 forces. We have these 2 forces, 573 and 634, and together they are going to be able to form a right triangle. Now, we're not talking about length here, we're talking about tension, and so don't expect that the length of the rope is going to have anything to do with the tension or the weight. So this little tiny short rope is holding a weight that is going to be larger than both of these 2 weights together because it's taking 2 different ropes to hold up one weight. And what this is going to be is this is going to be the same as the resultant vector. So if we were to draw this resultant vector of the 2 ropes with the 2 different tension weights, the resultant has a magnitude that's equal to this weight. So all we need to do is take the fact that this is 108 degrees. 108 degrees represents the angle down here. That's the 108 degree angle, which means that the angle over to the right here, this angle right here, is 72 degrees. Now if this angle is 72 degrees, and of course we already know that this other side over here is 573 degrees, then to find the length of the purple right here, which I will call x, then we're just going to use the law of cosines as follows. Okay, so I'm just filling in the law of cosines here. So I have 573 squared plus 634 squared, and then we have minus 2 times the product of those 2 sides. And then we have, lastly, cosine of 72. So here is the law of cosines, all color coordinated to match the diagram. Some of you might really like that. Ta-da! Okay, so type that into the calculator. You type that into the calculator, you should get a number that is about 500,000. So I'm getting about 5,054.37, etc. And then you take the square root of that, and when you take the square root of that, then that means that you end up with this number right here. So x is approximately 711 newtons. Now for question number 7, we have Sarah sets off on her hike from the lodge at a bearing of 83 degrees west of south. After 2.4 miles, she changes her bearing to 14 degrees west of south and continues hiking for 4.8 miles. Let's start by drawing the diagram for this. So we're going to say that she is starting off from the lodge. We need to draw the lodge. So here is my lodge. Now Sarah is starting off by, if I draw my south line right here, here is my south line. She is starting off by going 83 degrees west of south. So 83 degrees west of south is nearly west. And she goes 2.4 miles. And here is 83 degrees. Now from this place we now have another south line. these two south lines are, of course, parallel. And next it says that she is going to go 14 degrees west of south, so that's a lot closer to south itself. Here is 14 degrees in between this new length. And here she is going for 4.8 miles. And we want to find her distance and bearing from the lodge at this point. So to get the distance, we just need to connect this beginning place to the ending place. So that distance, let's call the distance D. Alright, so we have to figure out what this angle right here is so that we can use the law of cosines. Now this angle here, that's 83 degrees, remember it goes all the way from the 2.4 mile vector all the way to the south line. So in order to figure out what this angle is right here, we need to consider that the two south lines are parallel lines cut by this transversal, the blue line. So your same side interior angles need to add up to 180. So that means that the angle that goes from the second south line up to your blue line is 97 degrees, so that these two angles here add up to 180. Now add to that 97 the 14 degrees, and that's how you get your total angle right here. This total light blue angle is going to be the sum of the 14 degree little angle that we have plus your 97 degree angle, which means that the big light blue angle is going to be 111 degrees. Okay, so now we can use the law of cosines. We have the 2.4, we have the 4.8, and we have the 111. When we use the law of cosines, what do we get? So we get 2.4 squared plus 4.8 squared minus 2 times 2.4 times 4.8 times the cosine of 111. Then we need to take the square root of the result, and we should get 6.09 miles. So 6.09 miles. The bearing to the lodge from Sarah's current position. How are we going to figure out the bearing to the lodge from her current position? Well, first we would need to find this angle down here. Let me call it theta, and we can do that using the law of sines. So 2.4 over sine theta is equal to 6.09 over sine 111. So we can just multiply 2.4 times sine 111 and divide that by 6.09. And then we need to take the sine inverse of the result, and we end up with 21.58. So we're going to say that theta is approximately 22 degrees. Now, 22 degrees is not your final answer. Let's look at the fact that you do have a north-south line running right here. Here's your north-south line. So the angle that's 14 degrees right here is going to be alternate interior angles with this little angle right here. So this one is also 14 degrees. So the bearing that is represented here by, let me use a different color. Let's use black. The bearing that is black here is the sum of the 14 degree red angle plus your theta, and 14 plus 22 is 36. So we're looking at 36 degrees east of north. Now another way of saying 36 degrees east of north is to have the north written on the left, the east written on the right, and then the number in between. So this is also read 36 degrees east of north, and we see here that we got the 6.09 miles correct as well. Now for question number 8, there are multiple videos, plus there's an example in your textbook that will help you with this. When it gets to question number 9, again, you have multiple videos. And for question number 10, you also have a video. So I would say go through these problems using the video helps that are already provided.